welcome to the first ever Green Business Speed Networking session at the New Jersey Sustainability Summit. It's great to have everyone here. This session is going to be focused on energy-related businesses. I'm going to just do a little bit of housekeeping before we start. Well, first of all, I want to thank my co-host for this, Nancy Quirk, who is going to be joining us. She's the head of our energy program at Sustainable Jersey, and is going to be able to give some good color commentary with everything that's going to be spoken about today. Hi, Nancy.
I'll try that again.
There you go.
Sorry about that. I was on mute. Hi.
Great. So wanted to just, I'm going to share my screen really quick. And before we get to our first speaker, so we can go over a few of the different things going on. So first of all, thank you to all of the businesses that are participating today. We have New Jersey Aggregation, Samsara, AC Power, Taurus Advisory Group, Station A, Solar Landscape, Driven Fleet Concepts, Good Energy, Donnelly Energy, and Willdan. Thanks again for being a part of this this session. A couple of announcements. We have on June 6th is the municipal certification deadline. June 21st is the school certification deadline. We also have free technical assistance for one community to develop a water story, and you could go to sustainablejersey.com/grants to get more information on that. And there's also there's $75,000 in grants for resiliency and environmental stewardship projects in the Atlantic City Electric territory. So if you are in that territory, or if you know someone that would be interested in that, please let them know. We're still getting more people coming in. Great. Okay. And the fun continues with different sessions going on until Friday tonight. There's a pretty cool event happening. It's our trivia night. We have $150 prize for the winning group. We have gentleman Jim Norton that's going to be hosting this trivia night at 7:30. If you haven't registered for it, there's still time. Tomorrow we have another Green Biz Speed Networking session, and this one's going to be focused on green products and services. We have EV charging station companies. We have engineering firms that are going to be talking about stormwater management. It's going to be a really great session. Please, if you can make it to that, it'd be great to have you there. And that's at 11:30. We have an idea generating happy hour at 4:30, and a Sustainable Jersey tag teams at 7 p.m. And then Thursday at 7 p.m. we're going to be showing the movie Kiss the Ground and having discussion about the movie. So for a full list of the summit events, you could go to bit.ly/Sustainability Summit 21. So these are our speakers today. I think everyone is here actually. So thanks everybody for being timely and for showing up. We would not be able to do this without the help of our corporate sponsors and program underwriters: New Jersey Clean Energy Program, Geraldine R. Dodd Foundation, NJSBA, are our program underwriters. Our summit sponsors are New Jersey Natural Gas, NJEA, Horizon Blue Cross Blue Shield, Ocean Wind, South Jersey Gas, Link by Super Pedestrian, PSEG, Investors Bank, Bayshore Recycling, New Jersey American Water, NJ Ag, who's presenting today, Solar Landscape, who's also presenting today, Atlantic Health System, NJM Insurance, Elizabethtown Gas, and First Energy Foundation. So with all of that, I wanted to just say a few things about the green business energy companies that are going to be networking today. Municipalities and schools need a wide range of energy services such as building efficiency, energy consulting, renewable government energy aggregation, electric vehicle charging, fleet analysis, and more. And our vendors today will essentially be making a short pitch to you, the audience. As they're doing that, I'll be putting into the chat the relevant information and a Zoom link if anyone wants to have a one-on-one session with any of the speakers. So, and I would also ask that if you're interested in any of these companies reaching out to you, please put your contact information in the chat. You could just chat it to me directly or just write into the chat box. And with that, we are going to start with New Jersey Aggregation and Tara Pasca, the Director of Municipal Operations. So Tara, do you want to take it away?
Yes, thank you so much, Joe.
Great.
My screen, make sure everybody can see my screen. Yes, perfect. Thanks again to Joe and Sustainable New Jersey for this opportunity. As he said, I'm representing NJ Aggregation. NJ Aggregation is actually comprised of two different companies. The company I work for, which is Concord Energy Services, along with Commercial Utility Consultants. Lisa Hibbs from Commercial Utility Consultants will be joining us on the chat. That way we'll both be there to answer any questions. The NJ Ag team has been very successful with our government energy aggregation programs. They're also called community energy aggregation programs. We offer renewables to towns that are interested in that as well. And I think our video will speak for itself. So without further ado, I am just gonna hit play. If I could find play. Sorry, guys. For some reason, there it is.
No sound.
Tara, there's no sound.
There's no sound.
Now the menu bar on the top, those three little dots, you have to hit share sound on Zoom now. We just changed that recently.
So if you stop sharing and then before you go to share again.
Okay, hang on.
Check the boxes.
Farmingdale considers our relationship with the CUC to be more of a partnership. Starting back in 2014, the Borough of Farmingdale, with original member town Point Beach, and adding to our co-op Lake Como, Manasquan, and Ocean Township in 2018, our combined residential savings to date are upwards of $150,000. The fact that all community outreach is handled by CUC with municipal input along the way makes it much easier for the municipal leaders and staff to implement. CUC handles all calls from our residents for enrollment requests as well as questions about the program. We can envision a better partner to help our residents save on their energy costs.
Hi, this is Bill J. Willdan. I'm here, and I want to talk about this program that has been in existence since 2014. And it's funny because when we met down at the Westin, we had several towns that came down, and everybody was excited at the time, but nobody wanted to put their foot into the water. Now they would put their toe there, they wanted to get a little temperature, they wanted to see how it works out. So here we are, 2021, 14 towns are now part of this program. Saved over $2 million for the residents of Morris County.
Hi, I'm Mayor Mark Taylor, Florham Park, New Jersey, and we've been involved in the aggregate for about 4 years now, 5 years, I'm sorry, 2017. I was very happy to see a recent report where we have saved our residents over $200,000 in that time frame.
And that is it, folks. Thank you so much.
All right, great. Tara, thank you so much. Again, I had put in the chat if you wanted to speak with Tara a little bit more about NJ Ag. Their Zoom link is there, and also check them out on social media. Also, just another quick note, you see that we have the transcript going on the bottom. If you want to remove that, if you go to the bottom of your toolbar, click on the 3 dots on the right and hit hide transcript. That will hide those transcripts for you. So up next is Samsara, and Laura Wrightson is the major accounts executive for Samsara. Samsara is a pioneer of connected operations cloud, which allows businesses that depend on physical operations to harness IoT data to develop actionable business insights and improve their operations, efficiency, and sustainability. And they have more than 20,000 customers across a wide range of industries. Laura, are you set to go?
I sure am.
All right, great.
Thanks for that introduction. Again, Laura Wrightson. I'm an account executive for Samsara. I'm based out of Boston, but I work with municipalities across New England, New York, and New Jersey. For those who are not familiar with Samsara, again, we're an IoT company. We specialize in fleet telematics, connected operations, if those terms are a little bit more familiar to you. We are about 5 years old, and we're based out of San Francisco. Foundation of our platform is just basically helping our customers collect data from various sources and make it actionable and available through the cloud. We use our own US designed and Samsara manufactured sensors to be able to collect data from things like vehicles using vehicle gateways and safety dash cams, our physical sites using AI-enabled site security cameras, and equipment using asset tracking and utility modules. So ultimately what we're trying to do is help you drive better decisions for municipalities, improve safety and security, of course, of our citizens, our drivers, et cetera, increase efficiency with real-time operational visibility, and maximize our operations. So what I'm showing you here is our dashboard. I'm just going to hop into the dashboard, not get into kind of the core of Samsara, but ultimately show you what we're trying to do in terms of helping fleets move from gasoline and fuel vehicles over to possibly hybrid or fully electric. We understand it's a big undertaking and a lot of folks don't know where to start. So we've kind of operationalized the platform to be able to be a sounding board for that. So the first thing you'll see here is just kind of at a core what Samsara is. Over on the right, you'll see we're just tracking an entire vehicle fleet. So it's just a map overlay of an entire fleet over there. And then what you can see per vehicle is basically we're trying to understand the movement, behavior, trips, et cetera, of a vehicle. So this is, for example, this vehicle's trip for the last 24 hours. We're able to actually throw it into this view and drive right along with them. But essentially what we're doing is pinging once per second in vehicles to collect as much data as possible. We have over 1 billion data points coming into our dashboard daily. So this is what helps us to kind of create these reports and understand utilization of fleets and help fleets kind of move to more of a sustainable effort. So hop out of this. So what we're doing with fully fuel vehicles for fleets that are looking to possibly electrify, start to take that step towards electrification, is we're constantly collecting data points on those fuel vehicles. And these are some of the criteria that we're using. So what's their lifetime usage? What's the average daily range? Potential fuel savings based on the vehicle, fuel efficiency, max daily range, et cetera. So those are some of the criteria that we're looking at. And we're essentially helping to score each of the vehicles within a fleet based on electrification suitability. And it's both on reduction in potential emissions or fuel savings as well. However, a municipality wants to look at it, whether it just be for sustainability reasons or purely cost savings. And essentially what this does is this report evolves over time as we see more going on with the fleet. And we help you decide maybe this 10% of our fleet is who we should electrify today. And we'll tackle this next 20%, 30%, whatever it may be over the next couple of years. So it's kind of just a place to start. Per vehicle, we're also tracking important things like the state of charge. One of the biggest hesitations with moving to electric vehicles is for these vehicles that are driving long distances. Maybe it's a larger county or a state vehicle. Can they actually make it to their destination on the particular state of charge? So you can see that per vehicle, we're actually going in and taking the historical state of charge, letting you know our drivers doing right by the vehicles and actually fully charging them at optimized hours, things like that. And we're working in some features to be able to actually determine if they can make it to their destination based on charge points along the way. So it depends, city to city and county to county based on what charging stations you use, but being able to overlay those on the map and determine a destination based on if they'd be able to stop and charge the vehicle. We're also pulling vehicle diagnostics, so you can always see the state of charge, battery health, things like that, things that are very important to understand when you're sending a vehicle on a trip. Next, the charging trends. So it's important. One of the biggest things we hear from a lot of major cities is we want to know if people are actually taking care of the vehicles, charging them at optimized hours. It's a lot more expensive and takes a lot longer if you're charging at stations that are actively used during the day. Maybe there's a lot of vehicles, depending on the infrastructure of the particular city or county. So just understanding charging trends, making sure that people are actually plugging in at optimized times, maybe during the night, over the weekends, et cetera. So you can start to see what those trends are, a number of charges, et cetera, for per vehicle, and start to understand if they're efficient as well in their charging. And then finally, the efficiency of the vehicles. So you can see these little icons almost over here are basically whether they're fully electric plug-in hybrid or actual fuel vehicles. So you can kind of see an overlay of all of your vehicles and start to understand the efficiencies of each of those. So you can make decisions whether you want a hybrid vehicle, fully electric, et cetera. So ultimately, all this data is just helping you to understand how to start that journey. Again, it can be a bit of a bear to decide where to start. Where are we going to save money? How do we, implement the accurate amount of funding to this? And what does our goal look like over the next 2, 3, 5 years, whatever the case may be? But we're collecting all that data and making it really easy for you. Now we'll wrap it up there.
All right. Thank you, Laura. Really appreciate that. Really interesting stuff. Does anyone have any questions for Laura or any of the speakers? Please feel free to put them in the chat or you raise your hand, or if you want, you can click on the Zoom link, and their teams will be there to do a one-on-one session. So, and thank you again, Samsara, for being a bronze sponsor of Sustainable Jersey. So next up is Annika Colston, the president and founder of AC Power. AC Power is a woman-owned solar development company dedicated to redeveloping undervalued land to generate renewable energy. They help revitalize sites such as closed landfills, abandoned quarries, and brownfields at no cost to the property owner. Annika, the floor is yours.
Great, thank you so much. And thank you for the opportunity to run through this quickly. Just trying to make sure I can know how to, oh, there we go. Okay. So I'm Annika Colston. I'm the founder of AC Power, and we are a solar development company that specializes in developing projects on landfills, brownfields, and other sites generally in need of rehabilitation. We have operating projects in Gloucester, Delanco, and the borough of Hapatcong. We have 3 that are under construction right now, and we have been participating in New Jersey's community solar pilot program. We were awarded 3 of 45 awards issued in the year 1 pilot program, and we submitted several applications for year 2. Our pipeline consists of over 100 megawatts of projects on landfills, mines, quarry projects across the Northeast and the Mid-Atlantic, but we really are very focused on New Jersey. The majority of our projects and time are spent identifying projects that overcome hurdles and are otherwise facing some difficulties moving forward. This slide is really for you to go back and reference as a kind of cheat sheet on the community solar program, if this is something that any of you are interested in pursuing, or you may have been familiar with it as many potential projects come to municipalities to get support. And so there are several goals of this community solar program and ways for a solar project to branch out into multiple benefits. And those are the kind of projects that we're trying to pursue, is multi-benefit projects that really serve the community. And one of the ways that we're doing that is through the types of projects that we support and attempt to develop. So as I said, these are landfill projects or brownfields or quarries, and generally low value land that has no other greater use. Sometimes these projects have not been receiving property taxes. They may have a liens on them or issues with their title or owner. And we've worked through those issues on several other projects and really kind of consider that to be one of our specialties, is working through low value land, because we don't want to necessarily be transforming higher value land for solar projects. The other portion of this is to subscribers who cannot purchase or install solar on their own land. So we offer subscriptions. At least 51% of all of the solar project goes to low and moderate income households, and they're getting between 10 and 25% discount on their electricity. So it's sizable. And in our previous projects, we've worked with, for instance, working with the Atlantic County Workforce Development Board to help identify the right partners. We've worked with the Morris Sussex Warren Workforce Development Board. And then the other, oh, I'm sorry, this is jumping into the workforce development aspect of it, but that's really the third leg of what we're looking at. And so we are identifying through those contacts and through the municipalities where we can be most successful in trying to establish workforce development. And we've also teamed up with the local community colleges and other apprenticeship programs where we can offer offer scholarships and other services for job training. And so we've set up partnerships with the Camden County College, the right here that I'm missing, County College of Morris. And so we are looking hopefully to have these projects approved and move forward, but we think that they are really indicative of the types of projects that can be developed, and that we're moving toward not only a clean renewable energy project using solar, but one that also brings projects back onto the property tax rolls, that they are also bringing workforce development and job training. They're supporting low and moderate income. And those we think are the real winner projects of New Jersey. So I think I try to look at my phone with my notes and also the clock so I don't run over, and I'm afraid I'm talking very quickly, but I love this subject matter. And so I just want to show quickly before I wrap up a case study of a project that we have completed development on, and we have submitted to the Community Solar Year 2 program. It's a closed landfill in Winslow Township, owned by the private sector, by Owens Corning. It's fully developed. We have site plan approval from the Winslow Planning Board. We also have support through Winslow Township for the work for job training and for the community solar program. We have completed our work with the Pinelands Commission and New Jersey DEP. We have done several projects, I think close to 10 projects with the Pinelands and DEP, and also with Pinelands. And so we really specialize in working with those stakeholders to get these difficult projects through. This particular project will power approximately 250 homes. At least half of those will be low and moderate income households. So we hope to do many more of these projects, and would love to talk with more of you if you have particular questions.
Great. Thank you so much, Annika. And again, I put the Zoom link if you want to speak with Annika more about all the fantastic work that AC Power is doing. Really impressive stuff there. And thanks again for being part of our session.
Thank you.
So next up is Taurus Advisory Group. And Taurus is the only minority-owned energy procurement management firm that maintains a Series 3 trading license and registration with the National Futures Association that works directly with retail energy. And I have Nathan Burrows, the managing director, that's going to talk a little bit more about Taurus and what they have to offer your schools and municipalities. Nathan, are you ready to go?
I'm ready.
All right, go for it.
I think you guys can see my screen.
Yep.
Excellent. Thanks, Joe. So as Joe pointed out, I'm Nate Burrows. I am co-founder of Taurus Advisory Group. We are a minority-owned energy advisory firm, and we are also a Series 3 licensed entity, which means that our pricing desk could trade commodities on Wall Street. And we are the only entity so licensed and registered that also works with retail energy customers like yourselves, boards of ed, school districts, small businesses, large businesses. We operate a portfolio of companies, other small businesses. They're called Energetic and Viceroy Strategy Partners. They are female owned. They're based in Houston and Philadelphia. We offer a bevy of services. People say, well, what does energy advisory mean? What do you do? That really means we do everything that comes along with your utility bill. There are tariffs that you pay for delivery and for supply, all the components of those prices we analyze before we go out to do any kind of procurement event. The staff of our service is the actual procurement of the commodity, your electricity and your natural gas, and we differentiate ourselves by drilling down into those components, for one, and two, in procuring strategically. I know that a lot of folks who are probably attending this session are part of large co-ops, such as ACEs. Those are all well and good. What we really focus on is the individual. We have a great track record of helping folks not only save versus those large co-ops, and we'll probably have to discuss how, if you want to follow us onto our individual chat, but significant savings versus a larger co-op, but more importantly, meeting your needs. And if you're on these calls, you're talking about efficiency and sustainability and all the things that get you points for your certifications and your silver and your bronze, and also becoming more environmentally friendly in general. So we do that procurement while achieving savings, while listening to the needs that you may have. Let's say you're doing an ESIP project and you're looking for a way to push that last $100,000 of savings over so that you can get some of your other efficiency measures approved and paid for. So we would work with your provider and talk about how to mirror a procurement strategy that will provide a guaranteed savings over the term of your ESIP. We've worked with dozens and dozens of New Jersey public entities. Strategic risk management is what I was just sort of elaborating. And this goes into sort of the way that we go about approaching the market. That has to do with our Series 3 license. We talk about what is available to you, not just right now, but what might be available to you tomorrow and the next day and in a few months down the road. We take an approach that incorporates all of your goals, but also looks at market opportunities, not on one particular day, but on all days. So we've structured lots of supply products for public entities that allow them to, yes, get the competitive process out of the way, but also allow them to take advantage of market opportunities as they arise. And one of the things I'll get into here for a few minutes, I won't be able to drill down too much at the moment, but one of the things that further differentiates us is our provision of what we call our energy decision software. And this is a very comprehensive tool for folks that are looking to benchmark their facilities, to find a better way to gather their invoices and keep track of their utility spend and their consumption. It's really a tremendous tool. And I'll just take a minute to cruise through here so you can see what I'm talking about. This is a landing page. This chart here shows you cost and consumption for a sample client's entire energy portfolio. That's all well and good. But what does that really mean? The numbers you see here are scraped directly from the actual invoices, which populate here automatically every month. They're validated. So I know that boards of ed spend and towns and municipalities, the bigger you are, the more time consuming that process is. Those hours that are spent by your team that are responsible for utilities and every month validating, are you paying the right, what have you paid? Are you paying the right amount? Have there been any errors? This will scrape your utility bills automatically, populate them in the system, give you an overview, and you can play with the data in a variety of ways. You can take it further. Every month you can be provided with an accounts payable spreadsheet, or could happen twice a month depending on how you want to pay your bills. But I know that is very labor intensive for public bodies, especially those with 30, 40, 50, 100, 1,000 accounts. This will scrape every invoice for you monthly, figure out if there's anything outstanding that needs to be looked at. If there are any outstanding variances, this is what we call them. So we were looking at the overview there. If you've got multiple facilities, oh my gosh, don't do this to me. All right, great, we're back. We'll give you a map view, it maps them all out. And then you can drill into things like, let's look at our sustainability tab, because that's really where we want to focus for you guys. So this is a client for whom we've done procurement. They haven't really been interested in green products per se, but they do want to become, they are aligned with Energy Star, and they want to improve their Energy Star rating. And so this portal speaks directly to the Energy Star, and month over month it will track their Energy Star rating. You can also track your emissions. As you, this I think is representing, yep, 1 year. This client has, these meters have generated over 8 million pounds of CO2 emissions. Here, that's by emissions. And you can see the different types of emissions here on the left. And this is the total emissions. This is in metric tons. I know it's not very, it's not very intuitive to go from pounds to metric tons, but that's what it does. So you can really see, you know, let's say we had done procurement for you and we'd gone 100% green and gotten you RECs or carbon offsets or a PPA covering your entire facility. This emissions would be at 0 if your power were coming from 100% green sources, which some of our clients do take advantage of. I know my time is probably running pretty short here. I just want to give me 1 more minute and I will close. Benchmarking is another thing I know that folks get points for. You can benchmark your facilities. So we're really a one-stop shop. If you've got efficiency projects and you want to bounce ideas off of us, you know, we're doing your procurement for you. We've pulled you out of a co-op or whatever you were doing before. You're going to be saving more money, and you're going to be getting a variety of services, especially if you're sustainability, efficiency focused or resiliency focused. Find creative ways to, and in some cases with zero capital, get those funded and get a bevy of tools and services at your fingertips. So if you've got more for us, you can follow us onto our, I think it's a Teams link. I'm sorry, I ran a minute or 2 over, but looking forward to, and I appreciate Sustainable Jersey for what they do and giving us the time.
Thanks, Nate. Appreciate it. Okay, so next up is, and if you want, there's I put the Microsoft Teams link for Taurus in the chat, and also if you want any contact information on these companies, please just let me know, and you can chat me with your contact info as well. Okay, so next up is Station A. And Sarah Wydell, their business development leader, is going to be speaking about the first AI-powered clean energy marketplace for the C&I market. She can describe it better than I can, that's for sure. So, Sarah, are you all set to go?
Yes, I am, Joe. Thanks
Awesome.
so much.
The floor is yours.
Great. Thank you, Joe. Thanks to Sustainable Jersey for this opportunity. I'm really excited to share with you about Station A today. As Joe said, we're the first AI-powered clean energy marketplace for the commercial and industrial segment. And what we're focused on is leveraging the value of software to help building owners and tenants evaluate within seconds the potential for solar and energy storage at their locations for a single site or multiple sites. And we believe that with the power of this software, we can drastically cut down on all the soft costs that sometimes prevent people from completing their renewable energy projects. So transparency is a really important concept that Station A is trying to bring to this marketplace. The concept that when energy owners, be they school district decision makers or municipal decision makers, when they see the potential for renewable savings in their portfolio, they're free to then move forward to make decisions to actually complete those projects without the cumbersome back and forth that often has to occur to source a lot of disparate data, which is usually on paper bills, to then produce some sense of, will this project make sense? So rather than describe to you too much more, I'm going to share with you a demo of our site. So if you go to stationa.com, you too could sign up for a week-long Station A Pro demo. You just click the top right button here, and you can say, I want to create a new account and sign in with either your Google or your Microsoft credentials. Obviously, I already have an account, so I'm going to go here. And you're going to come to the main dashboard where there'll be updates on projects that are going on in the marketplace and new releases in the platform. But to really get you into the meat and potatoes of the platform, I'm going to show explore mode to you today. And what you're seeing now is a map view of the country. And all of these little yellow dots are elements of high voltage transmission and infrastructure. I'm going to zoom in to geography near where I live in Ewing. And you see now these blue highlighted buildings are coming into view. These are all the buildings that Station A has enriched the data for over 10,000 square foot. And I say enriched the data for, meaning our data, we've pulled publicly available data to create a granular view of the important data points for this building. So for all the buildings that are highlighted, you can click into them and you'll see right at the front here, an initial indicative estimate of a savings potential for solar. As you click through the tabs here, you'll see how we come to these estimates. So there's the important data about the size of the solar array. Based on our estimates, this would be approximately a 3.1 megawatt system with a PPA price of 8 cents per kWh. The locational data is available here as well. What is the roof area of this location? How many stories is this building? We have the assessor parcel number, any other locational information that's important to you. We've also created an estimate for an estimated load profile for this location. So you can see what we estimate the building to consume on a monthly basis and how that breaks down in terms of the cooling usage, heating usage, lighting usage, etc. Importantly, here on the grid tab, we've created a rate engine to estimate the likely tariff that this location is on, which allows us to estimate the cost of electricity for this building within a range today. So all those data points help us produce that indicative estimate that you saw of the 30% savings with solar. But one building in isolation is of course interesting. What's also really interesting are lots of buildings in aggregate to see what's the potential of the portfolio. So I found a publicly available address of New Jersey schools. I uploaded it into Station A, and now I have a heat map of all of the schools in New Jersey where there's potential, where Station A has the data for them, and as you see through the heat map, where there's potential for a solar or storage savings. So if I zoom into the buildings here, I can either view them as a heat map like this. So these are the highlighted buildings, schools in the Camden area. I can also, what's really powerful is to view them as a table. And I'm just needed to move this panel here a second so I can actually click that button. Okay, there we go, view table, sorry. And in the table view, I can edit this table so that I'm viewing these buildings, rank stacking them basically in order of which has the greatest potential for solar savings or battery savings. And so what you see now of these 374 schools that are over 10,000 square feet in New Jersey, I have right here in front of me the top 20 in terms of where there's the greatest potential for solar savings. And as you see, there's significant savings potential based on our model. Because these buildings alone are generating over 30% of savings off of the estimate for the bill today. So the table is a really powerful way to view portfolios of buildings, and you can do a number of things in the table. You can edit the types of data that you're seeing in the table, just using this toggle here. You can also export the data if that's relevant to you and you'd like to view it in a different format. Now, last but not least, because I could continue to show you more on the list, I just wanted to show the real core of our platform today, which is also the marketplace. So as building owners go on to Station A and identify opportunities, they may choose to initiate a project. And this is an example of a project that's been run through the Station A platform. It's a site out in California. We made this project available to our extensive provider network, provided the relevant specs to the network, included a lot of the goals for the project owner and the relevant data for people to prepare their proposals, solicited questions and responded to those. And now we're in the process of actually reviewing those bids. We received 150 providers viewed the RFP, 45 of those downloaded the disclosures actually to review more information about the project. And we received 7 excellent proposals that were very thorough. So if you're looking to run a competitive process for renewable energy projects at your sites, Station A could be the platform for you to get exposure to a number of competitive providers, and also to do it in this fully digitized way so that you have good access to your data, and you're able to reach a broad network of providers. With that, I will pause or end. I think my time is up. And I just wanted to say that while unfortunately I'm not available to do a Zoom from 4 to 5 today, I am available from 9 to 10 a.m. tomorrow morning in that same Zoom room. And I would love to speak with some of you. And I've also, and I'm of course available by email. So sarah@stationa.com is my email, and you can send me a note and we can schedule a longer follow-up conversation. Thank you so much, Joe.
Thank you, Sarah. Appreciate it. So next up is Solar Landscape. Solar Landscape is the leading New Jersey installer of community solar projects and solar energy solutions for the commercial, municipal, public school, and nonprofit marketplace. They're also a Sustainable Jersey Silver sponsor, so thank you for your support. And we have Todd Amenadier, who is the Director of Workforce Development. Just a quick point. We're running short on time, so try to keep it as close to 5 minutes. And Todd, take it away.
Thanks, Joe. Appreciate it. I should be able to keep it under 5 minutes, since Annika described a lot of the work that we did for us so far and how it benefits everybody out there. So Solar Landscape, as Joe mentioned, we are a commercial solar developer, which sounds kind of bad in some cases. People don't like to hear that developer term in the industry for some reason. However, we are beginning to focus and creating more of a focus on the community solar projects around the state. We were actually the first company to put a community solar project online. There's a screenshot of Governor Murphy at that ribbon cutting ceremony for that in Perth Amboy. And we are currently, so the first round we put in 8 applications, the next round, and we were awarded 10 of them. The next round that we haven't heard back from yet is we put in 40 applications. So we are looking to develop this community solar projects around the state in a much higher level. And to give you a kind of more of a background on it that helps give a little more insight into the kind of growth that we're anticipating. The first round, the second round rather, that hasn't been issued yet, has 150 megawatts that are going to be coming out. So we are expected to have a large workforce that we need to prepare for this. And so a lot of what we do, and my entire role for that matter, is to develop a workforce around the kind of experiences that we're going to need for people to get up on the roof, to become electricians, to help manage this, to do the operations and maintenance of it, and also to do the sales and marketing as well. So we have a pretty comprehensive workforce development for all the projects that we're anticipating getting, because we do anticipate a large workforce to come out of it. And so we've developed that into a 3-tier program. So the first is basically more of like a community engagement aspect, where I'll go out into a classroom and actually educate classroom students about green energy, the policies around it, the environmental issues of it, financial aspects, business of it. But then the second offering that we do is more of like a hands-on training for solar installers. And we've combined this with a kind of cross-training program with GAF, which is the largest roofing manufacturer in the world. They currently have a roofing academy, and we've done this a number of times across the state. And we partnered with them and a number of nonprofit community organizations that have identified some of their community members who are in need of kind of more job training, and getting them out of their current situations and into something that can provide with a more sustainable, a more desirable income going forward. And if you're not familiar with the way that commercial solar works, any project that's over 1 megawatt has to provide a prevailing wage, which at this current time is $63 an hour. So that's a significant increase in pay for a lot of folks that are coming out of difficult circumstances, maybe don't have the background to get into a different area. They can get into this kind of work, and we provide that training across the state. Our website allows you to go on there and learn a little bit more, and you can see the different dates and places where we are offering those particular training programs. So it's a really nice way. You don't have to be in the community solar areas that we're providing energy to. We do this throughout the state for anybody, anywhere. The last tier that you see on there, that's kind of this is like the bread and butter that I've been working on for the last couple of months. It's really exciting because today is actually the first day that we went live with this. So any of the schools that are out there that are listening, feel free to share this information. We are providing a $20,000 scholarship program for any high school student, any 9 through 12 high school student in this current school year. And essentially we're providing a webinar series for them to learn more about the energy industry. So we're going to start off with like, where does our energy come from? And we're going to end up with, how do you get into this business in terms of career pathways, in terms of how do you become an energy entrepreneur and learn more about all of those aspects through our webinar series. And afterwards, you can compete in our sustainability challenge. So it's essentially just submitting a video around either a topic that or an action plan that you can implement in your community, or a kind of innovative device that you can bring forth that's going to have a better impact on your sustainability metrics. Again, our link, all of this information is available on our website. We are looking forward to getting as many students involved with this as possible. And hopefully as this grows and we can develop something even greater and provide more engagement with the community around not only community solar, but around all the careers and the workforce options for students and other people out there, then we'll be able to bring this, this program to more and more people. So one more quick thing before I go to is we are in the works with NABCEP, which is a training facility program to help develop a course to bring to the community colleges as well. So that would be our 4th tier that we're going to help create essentially a credentialing pathway for anybody in community college programs that's going to be able to walk away with a associate's kind of like an entry-level credential into the energy field. All right, hopefully that was brief enough. Again, I will be available in the chat afterwards. I look forward to answering any more questions you might have about any of the stuff.
Thanks so much, Todd. That was great. Good to see Solar Landscape, my across the street neighbor here in Asbury Park, presenting at the summit. Okay, next up is Driven Fleet Concepts. I have Director Corey McGinnis, who is he's the Director of Fleet Planning and Business Development. Driven is a fleet management company that provides the service their clients find important to maintain their fleet, lower their total cost of ownership, and achieve their sustainability goals. Corey, you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Sweet, the floor is yours.
Thanks, Joe. Appreciate the introduction, and those of you that are on the call. If you're interested in achieving certification with Sustainable Jersey, or you just have the same goals or visions they do, this is a good place. This is a good place. So Sustainable Jersey recognizes fleet and fleet management and transportation as an area of opportunity for most government fleets. So they incentivize those to look at the fleet as a way to lower emissions, increase vehicle efficiency, create an overall more sustainable fleet plan, and that's what Driven Fleet Concepts does. So they suggest that you conduct a fleet inventory. I love that one. You can't improve what you can't measure. Conduct a fleet inventory, purchase electric vehicles. That's the hot one right now, and add charging stations within your area. Make those more available, and we work with SemiConnect as a way to roll out and install charging stations. But our biggest impact as a vendor would be to achieving the target for a green fleet. What we do is we create a blueprint and a financial roadmap for the exact steps that need to be taken so that you can be awarded these points. The blueprint's a pretty cool document that could be presented right to your council for review and to be voted on. What appropriations they need in order to adapt a greener fleet, and what cost savings that may bring, and what impact related to their carbon footprint that'll bring. So it's a really great document. We walk you right through electrifying the fleet. Samsara, kudos to those guys. That's a great platform that helps bring a lot of the data available. If you're with Samsara or any other telematics provider, there's a lot of great data that can help you identify how to electrify the fleet. And what we do is definitely help get those answers. So we can't hide from electric vehicles anymore. Biden and the current administration has made that crystal clear, and we can't hide from them costing more than gas vehicles. It's simply not true anymore. So as far as sustainability goes, you know, meeting the green fleet target is worth a large chunk of points, and that's tends to be the most difficult step. So it's just coincident that's what our company does. So drop your name and contact info, and we can certainly talk more. Joe will share our Teams link, and we can have a quick chat. But I put together a quick analysis for electric vehicles that I think is pretty impactful. So let's talk about that. Electric vehicles is what has so many people interested. Government entities and their boards are more interested in total cost of ownership than years prior, and there's no better time to look at electric vehicles than right now. So this is analysis that we can run for you, your town, your county, your borough, what have you, your school. And it's just a great example for the audience at Sustainable Jersey. And this F-150 is a classic government vehicle. It's been the top selling pickup truck longer than I've been alive. I mean, look at the purchase price off of state contract for this F-150. It's $26,000. Compare that to the purchase price of a Lordstown Endurance truck. And for those of you that don't know Lordstown, it's a startup that's going to be making their first delivery in the next quarter or two. If you don't know, they bought the old General Motors production plant. They used to buy the Chevy Cruze. And their focus is going to be primarily government and commercial fleets. So I thought that's a really good comparison. And when you look at the total cost of ownership for the gas F-150 versus, in this example, the electric Lordstown Endurance, even with the huge discount that Ford gives to the state contract, you're not going to find a significant difference in TCO. As a matter of fact, it's only a 2 cent per mile difference between the two. So you can't hide anymore. There's as much of a business case for electric right now than any time. So, you know, consider the fact that there's an 81% decrease in emissions. And if you want to account for a CO2 offset in the TCO, which I'm happy to do for anybody that wanted to reach out, you've got a great business case to go electric and work it into your 2022 budget. There's funding programs that help offset the higher purchase price, but TCO wise, there's such a small difference in cost. And just to point out, CO2 emissions for the electric vehicle, that's not from the vehicle itself, but rather the energy used to generate the power to charge the vehicle. That's referred to as upstream emissions. I don't want anybody thinking, hey man, you know there's no tailpipe in electric vehicles, right? So lastly, our clients get access to an outstanding fleet management software. We partner with Fleetio. They have a great software that Sustainable Jersey wants people to have, which is utilize the fleet software as in one of their actions. All of our clients will have access to that. So thank you. I'll be in the Zoom link that Joe shared if anyone wants to Zoom over. I'm glad to almost be done saying that. And I'll see everybody else at the league event later in the fall. But hope to talk to you then. Thanks.
Thanks, Corey. And I put Corey's contact info and the link in the chat. And thanks again for that great presentation. So moving on, we're at Good Energy. We have John Berg, who is the regional sales director for Good Energy. Good Energy develops and implements aggressive and innovative programs tailored to the end user's patterns of electricity consumption. And John's going to talk a little bit about why you should be paying attention to Good Energy.
Excellent. Thank you, Joe. I want to thank Sustainable New Jersey as well, and all our other panel members. This has been great. So yeah, we want to just tie in the relevance of energy into sustainability. There's a bunch of other aspects to sustainability from a community perspective, but today we'll talk about the energy portion of it, in particular, you know, as it relates to how Good Energy can help support folks. So in 2019, New Jersey released their Energy Master Plan. Governor Murphy really unveiled it in early 2020. And really today, talk about just a couple components, really deployment of renewables in the community and how they can be leveraged within community programs of energy procurement, maximizing energy efficiency and conservation, and just generally speaking, what does decarbonization and modernization of New Jersey's energy system mean? And there's a bunch of other strategic points here. There's 7 total strategic points, and we'll focus, you know, on just a couple of these. So Good Energy, what we really do is we launch municipal aggregation programs. We've been doing this for close to 15 to 20 years in a variety of different states, Illinois, Massachusetts, New York, and New Jersey. And that's really working with municipal leaders for their municipal commercial loads. We also work with those municipal leaders to launch community choice aggregation programs in New York, Illinois, and Massachusetts. The equivalent of that is government energy aggregation here in New Jersey, where we pool a bunch of residential customers together through municipal endorsement, much similar to New Jersey Ag and some of the other participants here in the marketplace do. And really what that enables us to do is leverage, generally speaking, energy procurement at a bulk level or on a mass scale to create energy savings for consumers. At the same time, we can overlay additional components of renewable energy to drive towards those communities' sustainability and carbon offset goals. And we do a bunch of other things along the way, like energy education, demand response, and someone else had mentioned really access to data for municipal leaders to really get a grasp on their total energy spend and how they're tracking towards those energy and sustainability goals. We also have partners and packages that we offer and deliver to monitor that and to make sure that we're achieving those objectives and those goals along the way. Just real quick, why is it important for communities here in New Jersey in particular and other communities across different states? I'll just give a quick example. Currently, Good Energy is serving about 1.4 billion kilowatt hours, which equates to an offset of GHGs, greenhouse gas emissions of 1.1 million metric tons across our footprint. We could boil that down to like one township or one municipality here in New Jersey. If you take a standard township, 5,000 households, which equates to maybe 13,000 total people, but 5,000 accounts, that is actually an offset. If we were to renew those programs, and certain programs are 100% renewable, some programs are anywhere from 10 to 30%, and we match the renewable content to the goals and objectives relative to both energy savings or cost savings and the desire to have more renewable and carbon offsets in that community. So within our programs, we have a mix of that renewable content, but typical content could be anywhere from 30 to 50%. So for a 5,000 household community, that represents 1,500 garbage trucks avoided in a particular year, or equate that to the usage or lack thereof usage, 6,500 passenger vehicles in 1 year. So these types of programs have a huge impact on both the local and the state environmental offsets, and it drives towards these types of sustainability goals as a community and as a state. Benefits of Good Energy Community Solar. We also leverage community solar in addition to standard RECs or renewable content in different states. We are not actually the community solar developers, but we partner with community solar developers to be an aggregator, and we leverage those inside of our government energy aggregation or community choice aggregation programs. The benefits really are pretty simple. There are no rooftop installations. The real focus here in New Jersey currently is they're on a pilot basis in mass scale, or they're available for lower income communities. So we have to be mindful where we deploy these, but we could also do rooftop solar applications if community solar is not available. Demand response has been really big. We have a program running here in New Jersey with Educational Services Commission of New Jersey, where we've done procurement for over 15 years for natural gas and about 13 years for electricity. The composition of that grouping or aggregation is municipal loads, schools, county buildings, administrative buildings, MUAs, all commercial accounts. We reduce peak demands through demand response. In aggregate, as the picture has kind of suggested, you aggregate a bunch of buildings and communities to actually reduce peak demands across an entire footprint. There are demand response revenues that go back to the individual customers, and it's generally good for the grid. You don't have to build as much capacity and as much transmission lines in the state, which are extremely costly, as we've seen behind PSC&G's territory in the last 5 years or so. Real quick, Good Energy by the numbers. We have about 3 million residents under the CCA or GEA programs or municipal aggregation programs running throughout our core states. It's about 1% of the total US population, so that's a big number. In our Illinois and Massachusetts ag programs, we're saving in excess of $120 million. These ag programs are specifically for electricity, not natural gas. It's about 5 billion kilowatt hours a year. I did mention ESC&J, Educational Services Commission of New Jersey. That's a longstanding relationship serving predominantly in Middlesex County, but throughout the entire state. We have loads customers, again, in the school board space, municipal loads, in all four or behind all four investor-owned utilities. It's been a very good, long-standing relationship. We also do have various GEA programs that reside in those same communities. I think someone earlier put a question out around JCPL programs. We are currently serving Byram Township. That is a JCPL community. And the interesting thing there is they had very specific savings targets that we had to adhere to before we procured and we implemented the program. Inside that program, as a community for Byram Township, they're bringing back into that community at the residential level about $250,000 of annual savings for the residents. So that money can be used in a variety of ways. You know, it can be redeployed within the communities, small business owners, maybe somebody goes out to dinner one extra time a year. It's very important for those communities. And as we start to layer on an additional green component in those programs, that only drives further towards the sustainability goals of those townships. And we have been in business for over 20 years. What I would say is, you know, Good Energy has a national footprint. We've been doing this for quite some time, and we've got a long-standing relationship with ESC&J in a variety of different townships. Our core focus is energy procurement. We have a lot of data tools to help monitor and track the success of these programs, and we try to drive those and dovetail those into monitoring and creating objectives relative to sustainability and greenhouse gas emissions offsets within each of those programs. You guys can visit us at that link after the sessions, and I'll have myself, Gary Swantner, and Gary Fogelman from our team there to answer any questions that you may have.
Great, thanks, John. Appreciate it. Yeah, I also put the link to the Zoom meeting in the chat. Okay, so moving along, we have Diana Menzies from Donnelly Energy. She's the marketing director over at Donnelly, and Donnelly is dedicated to helping small businesses, commercial facilities, and local government entities to become more energy efficient, reduce their carbon emissions, and their overall energy costs. So without further ado, Diana, take it away.
Thank you so much. I think there's still screen share from the other one still happening. But I know I'll do my spiel. Thank you for the introduction, Joe. Yeah, we are an energy efficiency and UVC lighting firm based out of Wayne, New Jersey. I like to think of us as your local green team, if you don't have one already. But we basically help small to mid-level size commercial spaces go green and UV clean, with our big focus being the mechanical energy efficiency upgrades in the lighting, heating and cooling, and commercial refrigeration categories. We have also been a participating contractor with the state's clean energy program, specifically their direct install program. So if you're not too familiar with direct install, it's their turnkey energy efficiency program that makes it really easy and affordable for small businesses to make that switch to high efficiency lighting and HVACR. And again, it's geared towards small to mid-level size buildings. The program does offer a free, no obligation energy assessment as one of the main perks. And kind of in regards to municipalities and school districts, the size of the target that fits within this program tends to be almost all municipal buildings, most elementary and middle schools, and some very smaller scaled size high schools. Another big incentive for this program for municipalities and schools to participate is that the program will cover up to 80% of these mechanical upgrades up front. And then we have another big perk for participating in the direct install program. If you're becoming Sustainable Jersey certified, there are various action points that you could take in order, through direct install, in order to gain, a higher boost in your energy and your Sustainable Jersey certification process. So the points include energy efficiency upgrades for your buildings, as well as doing a commercial energy efficiency outreach campaign to businesses within your community. I'm sure probably a lot of people have already known some information about this, so I apologize if I bored you. But I do want to announce that there are some changes happening within the New Jersey's clean energy program, and it really shouldn't come as too much of a shock. They even mentioned it in yesterday's summit kickoff meeting. And the clean energy program has been so good with just getting the information out to the masses about this program. But there is going to be an energy efficiency program transitioning happening within the clean energy program. where some of the existing building programs under their umbrella will be transitioning to become the responsibility of utilities with the turn of the fiscal year on July 1st. I'll drop a link in the chat later too with the transition website from the Office of Clean Energy, where it's basically explaining why this is happening, when it's happening, what programs are staying with New Jersey's Clean Energy Program, and then what programs are transitioning over to utilities. And that should really be your go-to source, kind of moving forward. Programs like the LGEA or the ESIB will still remain with New Jersey's Clean Energy Program. It's mostly the smaller scaled existing building programs that are transitioning. So programs like direct install. So basically, if after July 1st, if you're not participating in an LGEA or an ESIB program, and you're looking to do an energy efficiency upgrade with max incentives from the societal benefits charge, then you need to work directly with your utility rather than working with New Jersey's Clean Energy Program. So again, direct install transitioning over to utilities. We, as in Donnelly Energy, and the New Jersey's Clean Energy Program, we're still actively promoting the direct install program, and the Clean Energy Program is still accepting and honoring applications for the program up until that June 30th cutoff. And I'll actually also attach another sort of like a cheat sheet on this transition in the chat as well shortly. Not much has been announced in the way of the new programs that are about to be rolled out come July 1st. But if you keep on following the New Jersey Clean Energy Program on social media and on their website, they detail it as soon as news is announced. It's up and they're spreading the word. And we too are also sharing the news as we get it. And I want to reiterate, direct install is not going anywhere. It's just essentially getting an upgrade. It's just going to become a much more stronger and a now utility-based program. In regards to Sustainable Jersey and the direct install action points, I'm sure as new program information is released, new programs are rolled out, those two will essentially get their own upgrades, to match. In closing, I'm sorry I couldn't share any information right now or screen, but yeah, in closing, change can be really scary, but there's nothing to worry about. Energy efficiency in New Jersey is not going anywhere. It's just getting bigger and better. And, as a collective, I think we all are making really great strides in getting New Jersey to hit their 100% clean energy target goals by 2050. So it's going to be a very exciting time, a lot of newness happening, but it's nothing to be afraid of. I will be in my Zoom breakout room for until about 4:30, but please feel free to reach out to me at marketing@donnellyenergy.com and follow us on social media at Donnelly Energy. So other than that, thank you so much. Enjoy the rest of your summit.
Thanks so much, Diana. And if you'd like, if you can email me your presentation, and I'll make sure it gets into the hands of everybody that attended the meeting.
Awesome, thank you, appreciate it.
Yeah, no worries about that. And thanks for the informative presentation on what's happening statewide. So thanks again. So finally, we were only 15 minutes over. We have Willdan Energy, our final presenter. We have Tejas Desai, VP of Engineering, and he's going to talk about Willdan Energy, which is a nationally publicly traded engineering consulting firm with offices in over 40 states and with a huge presence in the Northeast market. Tejas, you could take it away.
Sure. Thank you, Joe. And I would like to thank Sustainable Jersey for inviting Willdan to present the municipal offer that we have been working on. So I just want to start with, and you guys can see my screen, right? I just want to make sure, Joe. Is that yes?
Yep.
Okay, thank you. So Willdan is a 56-year-old professional and engineering consulting firm, as you can see from the, the slide deck here. We are nationwide, 14th largest engineering company in New York and New Jersey, listed on ENR. We have been working on all type of programs, New Jersey, whether it is clean energy programs from direct install all the way up to ESIB program that we have been working on. Have done about $300 million worth of energy efficiency projects, and also a lot of performance contracting work that we have been involved with. about 1,400 people in the company with our East Coast headquarter in Newark, New Jersey. As Joe mentioned, we have a lot of support in this region with the offices, about 13 offices in this area. As far as the energy services are concerned, we provide comprehensive surveys, energy audits, design development service, all the way up to building the microgrid for our clients, as well as some of the performance contracting work and design build work for some of the central plant as well as combined heat and power plant type of projects. So, we are, working with the smallest commercial and industrial customer all the way up to larger customers as well. I call this, the next slide is about our engineering services. As you can see, these are the circle of, project timeline that we look at. We get involved with the project as a condition assessment, energy study, and then we take it through the design and then construction, commissioning, and day two plant services. All of the services are provided under single hood. As a result, any learning that happens from the previous iteration or next iteration get passed on to the previous step of the program. As a result, we are very, very, proud of calling our operation as a RAM, which stands for reliability, availability, and maintainability. So that is kind of what Willdan has to offer. I want to talk a little bit about our ESIP projects that we have been getting involved. And the right-hand side, the map can show you that we are involved in the project from the north of New Jersey all the way up to the south of New Jersey. We have the smallest project is a $1.1 million project at Teterboro Airport, all the way up to $9 million project with the Sayreville Board of Education. So that is what we have been providing to our clients. And if you have any questions, I will, Joe will make the WebEx link available to you right after this presentation. And again, thank you so much for all your time. Appreciate that.
Okay, thank you so much, Tejas. So we are at the end of our networking session. I hope everybody got some contact info from the different businesses, and we're going to be, I believe we're going to have this on our website to rewatch if you want to. And again, if you have any questions or if there's something you missed in terms of any links to any of these wonderful companies, you can reach out to me at grillog@tcnj.edu.